Well, what is going on, everybody? Welcome, everybody, into the Overreaction Buffalo Postgame Show, brought to you by the Market Dominator team on the Buffalo Rumblings Vidcast Network, presented by Picasso's Pizza. Treat yourself to the most flavorful pizza on game day. Picasso's We Are Buffalo Pizza, shipping local and nationwide. Order online at picassospizza.net. I'm the voice of the Overreaction Buffalo Postgame Show. My name is Joe Miller. You can find me on Twitter at Joe Miller Wired. And I got all kinds of technical issues going on. So this show is starting late. Thankful for all the people hanging out in the comment section. So 16 minutes late. Thank you, Joe. Appreciate it. As you can see, my camera's really dark because my webcam settings aren't working. I'm surprised that the microphone is working. But regardless, we are here. We're going to talk about Bill Belichick strikes again. Bill Belichick has been giving us problems all week, it seems like, from a technology. If he can't win the football game, by God, he's going to shut down all of our Victory Friday conversations, as it officially is Victory Friday. It'll be Victory Saturday, Victory Sunday, and, of course, Victory Monday. But do me a favor, whatever platform you are consuming this podcast on, please like and subscribe. Whether you're watching me live right now on YouTube or you are listening to me in podcast form, it's so good to have you. The December Darlings have officially returned. The December Darlings, the Buffalo Bills, have returned. And let's be honest for a second. Gillette Stadium is officially Josh's house. Can we just solve that and put that to bed right now? Not only is Gillette paying for the naming rights to the Patriots Stadium, but they're also paying Josh Allen and his beautiful face to basically rep their product. So if 1 and 1 equals 2, then that tells me that Gillette Stadium must be Josh's house, right? I mean, is there any other way to look at that? It's got to be one of the biggest flexes. They actually talked about it on the postgame show on Prime Video, which was pretty freaking great. This game was incredible. And the best news is the Bills came out of it. It was a solid victory. There was never really any doubt as far as that goes. The Bills now get to go on, and they've got 10 days of rest to get healthy. In the post-game show as well, Stefon Diggs was asked, just about Josh and what's going on. And he was like, well, Josh is just having fun again. And then I would probably tell you that we all know that when we have a fun Josh Allen, we have a dangerous Josh Allen, which is great. But this game was something else, and we're going to talk all about it. Aside from a miraculous wildest dreams land, no punt type game, which we saw the last 2 times we played the Patriots, and there was a moment there getting into deep into the first half. I thought we were going to get it again this time, except for those types of crazy wins that don't happen very often. This was by far and away one of the most complete wins you will see in the NFL. No, the Bills didn't score 40 points. No, they didn't score 35. They actually, they didn't actually. The Bills and the Patriots together didn't actually cover the over. So if you took the under, which a lot of people I think were talking about, then you made out. But this was a very complete win from this football team. And they looked a lot like the Buffalo Bills that we know, the Buffalo Bills that we love: offense, defense, special teams. And now, much to our surprise, after 4 years, it seems like we can finally probably start having conversations about the fact that we have a run game. The Buffalo Bills have a run game. Keep in mind, when you run against the Browns aren't a good run defense team. It's different than when you run against Bill Belichick and the Patriots. And that's what the Buffalo Bills did in this football game. Not to mention that, so offense, defense, special teams, now a run game with a budding, hopefully potential 2-headed monster in Devin Singletary and James Cook. The only big play this defense even gave up, the only big play, was the long screen pass to Jones. And I'll be honest with you, as much as I rewound it about 6 times and I was mad at Damar Hamlin, I think he guessed wrong. I think literally that play came down to just him thinking it was going to Devontae Parker, and it ended up going to Jones, and then Jones ran right by him. So I think even that is a potential. It's just one of those. He had a 50-50 shot, guessed the wrong guy, and it happened. But we are going to talk about this football game. We're going to have some fun here on Victory Friday. We're going to have some fun on the Overreaction Postgame Show. I got to pull up all the tweets to make sure that I've got them, because literally everybody legit frazzled. For those of you that aren't aware, that are listening in podcast form, effectively nothing wanted to work. Literally the streaming program that we use didn't want to recognize my camera, didn't want to recognize my microphone. I don't know if it's a Chrome issue. I don't know what is going on, but it's just not happy for some stinking reason. So I'm a little bit frazzled, but you know what? We're going to talk about it. I'm glad that you're here. Everybody that's in the comments section, if you want to get a comment in, if you've got a question for me, please super chat me. It will get my attention. My glass of bourbon is already half gone, and the show has already started because I was drinking it while I was trying to figure out what in the crap was going on. Oh, well, if this stuff wasn't happening, I guess it wouldn't be fun. You know what? I've got a pretty good run going. I've been doing these live shows for over a year. It's been about 2.5, and this is the first time I've really ever had a technical issue. So let's do this. Let me give you the tagline, which is, I'm excited that you guys are here. And whether this podcast finds you around a cup of coffee, at the gym with your AirPods in, or on the drive to work, or even possibly watching me live right now, let me just say one more time, welcome. And I'm going to do this just because it's the top of the show. We're going to hear from our show sponsor, the Market Dominator, ladies and gentlemen, John Spaschek.
Introducing the Market Dominator.
Folks, I'm John Spaschek. That's right, the Market Dominator. And I am the proud sponsor of the Overreaction podcast, hosted by my good friend, Joe Miller. You know, his approach is absolutely outstanding. It's excellent. And that's what our approach is when we get into real estate. We help our clients win, just like our beloved team is doing week in and week out. So folks, if you want somebody representing you with the most cutting edge technology, using artificial intelligence and everything we can get our hands on to help you win, you reach out to me directly, 716-570-3298. We will answer our phone. And one more thing, go Bills.
Go Bills. That is John Spaschek, the Market Dominator himself. If you are looking to buy or sell a home in this very competitive, very crazy market that's going on right now, please give him a call, 716-570-3298. The number again, 716-570-3298. The Buffalo Bills came into this football game. Let's get started. The Buffalo Bills came into this football game 8-3. The Patriots 6-5. The Bills, as we know, 0-2 in the division. And you know, it felt like from the beginning this was a must win for this football team. Did it not? It just felt like a must win for the Bills. When you look at just the implications from the AFC East, the implications on the AFC overall, you know, if the Bills win this game, they're in a situation where if the Dolphins lose, if the Chiefs lose, well, let's start with the Dolphins. If the Dolphins can't beat the 49ers this weekend and the Bills win, which they did, they're in first place in the AFC East again. That's big. That's real big. And then you've got the Chiefs conversation. The Chiefs play the Cincinnati Bengals, who they've had matchup issues with as of late. If the Bills win this football game against the Patriots, which they did, and the Chiefs lose to the Bengals, we're in a situation where the Bills are now not only in first place of the AFC East, but they're also in first place of the AFC. They got the number 1 seed again. Now, obviously, there's a myriad of different things that could happen. The Chiefs could win, the Dolphins could lose, the Dolphins could win, the Chiefs could lose. However, at the same time, the Bills, you just felt like they had to win this football game. It was a must win. And the worst case scenario would be the Bills not showing up, right? Laying an egg, national TV, which the Bills never really do lay an egg on national TV. Yes, they were stressed in that Thursday game on Thanksgiving, 4 games after, you know, the whole Snowmageddon debacle, having to play another away game, home game, away game in Detroit against the Browns, illnesses, sicknesses, even illnesses and sicknesses this week. Josh Allen injured, not having practiced in 2 weeks. They got through that crap. And then this game. And boy, did they show up. And people were asking me all week. I probably got asked 3 times today, twice at the gym this morning. Hey, Joe, what do you think is going to happen? What do you expect for the game? And I was like, I have no idea. I've got no answer. I don't, I do these shows. I do several shows all the time. I'm lucky enough to be asked to be a guest on people's shows. I was on Griff's show yesterday, or this morning, I should say, which is a Patriots podcast. Griff and I have become pretty good friends. He even asked me, what's your prediction? What are your expectations? I'm like, dude, I don't even know what team is going to show up. Right? It's one thing to go into this game with that whirlwind of 12 days or 19 days or whatever it was, where they played like 5 games in 19 days or 4 games. And I don't even know what it was. It was crazy. I heard the stat earlier today. I think it was 4 games or 3 games in 12 days or something. It was nuts. And maybe you get the benefit of coming into a Thursday game and the team you're playing is on a short week, right? So they played Sunday and you've got a week to prepare to get kind of right, but they didn't. The Patriots also played on Thanksgiving Day. So there was no real added benefit. There was no real added advantage for the Bills to play this game against the Patriots because the Patriots got the same amount of time. It's funny how the schedule makers always seem to make it easier for the Patriots than they do other teams. It's weird how that works, right? Isn't that a little weird? Haven't we talked about that for like 20 years? Just a little strange. During the drought years, every time the Bills would come off a bye, they'd have to play the Patriots, stuff like that. It's like, what has happened? Like, the Bills never got the benefit. Seemingly now they are a little bit, but this was a situation where it would have been nice to play somebody that maybe only had 4 days rest. But people were asking me, like, Joe, what do you think is going to happen? And there was an aspect of, I was like, it kind of depends on which team is going to show up. The Bills have had not trouble, but it's been a tough sled. They've had difficulties. It's not been easy, right? It's not been easy. But you have to expect that they were going to be, or you had to, I should say, expect that they were going to be better because they're getting guys back, right? We got Groot back. We got Tremaine back. And my gosh, Tremaine Edmonds. Jay Spencer King is in the comment section right now. My gosh. Tremaine Edmonds. Crazy how well he played in this football game. So there was just a feeling that things were going to be better, right? But I still had apprehensions. We talk about the Patriots all the time. We talk about how they're the annoying nephew at Christmas that just won't freaking go away. And now they're walking out of their own stadium with a 6-6 record, suffering another loss at the hands of the Buffalo Bills. And this time completely different. And it wasn't even a different in the sense that like Belichick came in expecting to and like hell bent on stopping Josh Allen. And, we stopped Josh Allen. They beat us, but they beat us because they had to run the ball. We took Josh Allen away. They didn't really take Josh Allen away in this football game. The Bills decided to run the football. Josh Allen probably could have had himself a day had they decided to, but they didn't. So I'm really glad for what we got to see. I'm really glad for this game, how it turned out. Wildest Dreams Land is upon us again. And if you have not heard already or have not seen, I believe Buff on Weck is crafting a post. There is an actual Wildest Dreams Land t-shirt that you can purchase from buffonweck.com. If you go there, there's gray and blue and red and a couple other different shirts that are for me, but buffonweck.com, you can get a Wildest Dreams Land t-shirt. But Wildest Dreams Land are here again and hopefully here to stay. But this game did not necessarily provide no challenges. Is that the way that you should say that? It was there were challenges even coming into it, right? No Deion Dawkins. Von Miller, to everybody's surprise, I'm going to play against the Jets. That's the plan. Brandon Beane today shuts them down for 4 games on IR. Speculation would have you assume that he went and had a follow-up conversation with the doctor and it's not maybe as far along the knee as they had hoped. So we're going to sit Vaughn down. The expectation is he comes back. I guess we'll see. I'm going to be honest with you, Kaiir Elam as a scratch was a surprise to me. But it also told me and made me feel good about the fact that we were going to see a pretty good workload from Tre'Davious White. And we did. And he played well. Can we just talk or stop and pause just for a moment how good it is to see 27 on the football field? There's just something about 27. And he feels it too, right? He feels the weight of being Sean McDermott's first draft pick. But 27 is kind of like he represents the change in culture, the change in this team, everything that we are as a winning organization. He kind of represents that for us now, right? It's so good. It's so good to see 27 on the football field. Hey, my webcam setting thing finally opened. I don't know what's going on with my computer, but it's just not happy. So now you guys are privileged or unprivileged enough to be able to see my face. I don't know which way you want to take that, but yeah, here I am in the flesh. It is me. The voice is still me, and the face, unfortunately, is still me. Got our first super chat. Jessica Tennis, thank you so much, as always, for just always being a part of the show and always being here with me. I appreciate you. Any news on what happened to Elam? Team rules? No, I think he was just a scratch. I think their expectation was they were happier with Dane Jackson, with Tre'Davious White, and Xavier Rhodes. I don't think he's hurt. I don't think it's clearly not a call-up thing. He's on the active roster. So I think literally he was a healthy scratch simply due to the fact that they wanted to play Trey and Dane, and the backup was Xavier Rhodes. Maybe we'll hear more about that later. I don't know. We'll see. I do want to say this while I'm thinking about it. The Patriots jerseys, their throwbacks, are freaking elite. We can probably pause for a moment and just stop with the gotta hate the Patriots at all costs. We don't need to live in that space anymore because they're no longer the big bad Patriots. They're no longer the bully. I did a show on Fanatics like 3 years ago, 4 years ago. I don't even remember. It was a long time ago. And my quote from that show was, when you've got a bully that has been like giving you a hard time for years, at some point you've got to just stand up and punch the bully in the face. And the Bills have done that. Like, the bully is gone. The Patriots are no longer a bully to the Buffalo Bills. So with that being said, we can kind of back up, in my opinion, and just be like, you know what? Let's be honest for a second. The red old throwback Patriot jerseys with that logo and the white helmets are 1,000 times better than the Flying Elvis and the blue. Get rid of the Flying Elvis and the blue and go back to the reds. For the love of God, Mr. Kraft, please go back to the reds. They pop on television. They just look super hot. Super, super hot. This would have been a great game to see the Bills in their standing Buffalo against. That would have been a fun game. Standing Buffalo, white jerseys, like 65 AFL championship jerseys. Oh yeah, for those of you that are somewhat new to Bills Mafia or maybe aren't old enough to realize, the Bills do have a championship. They've got an AFL championship before the AFL and the NFL merged, but conversation for another day. But those past jerseys are elite, hot. It would have been a great game to see our throwbacks and their throwbacks in the same game. Would have been awesome. But coming into this football game, getting kind of back on task, the Patriots O-line, a little bit of a patchwork situation, just kind of like ours. Connor McDermott, of all people, starting at left tackle, I believe. No Isaiah Wynn in this football game. They had some injuries. And do we want to stop just for a moment and talk about Ramondre Stevenson? Good Lord, that kid can play football. I'm concerned about Devontae Parker, who has traditionally played very well against the Bills. No, it never really amounted in wins for the Dolphins. But Parker always seemed to have a good game against us. Not today. Not today. It was nice to see that early on that, I put this in my notes, and I don't want you to take this the wrong way because it's a good day. I put in my notes that early on, Josh is not the problem. And what that meant was there were some issues here and there, nothing major, but it was clear that Josh was confident. It was clear that he had zip on his throws. The report was he was wearing an arm sleeve this week during practice, so the brace was gone. I could not tell if he was wearing a brace. It did not look, by the way he was throwing the ball, the off-platform throws that he was making. It looked like the brace was gone. Josh was on point in this football game, right? However, the Patriots did a very good job of containing his legs. That they probably did the best job. It was clear that Bill Belichick went into this football game effectively saying there is no way we're letting Josh Allen beat us with his legs. And he didn't. I almost expected that's what the game was going to happen. When I was being asked, Joe, what are your expectations for this game? That's kind of where I was landing. I was landing on, I think Josh is going to have to rush for 100 yards. He didn't. He ran a bunch, but they were kind of on him. They did a pretty good job bottling him up. Real good job. Super good game. Got on the super chat for you. Payden plays. My guy Payden says, be nice to the Patriots, ? No, I don't think I will. I can't blame you. I think it's just more of a, when you're, how do I want to say this? When you're 5 foot, whatever, you're short, and the kid on the playground is 6 feet tall, right? We'll just say 6 feet tall. He's in the 11th grade and you're in the 9th grade. And then he graduates, or maybe he doesn't, because normally bullies aren't good in school. But at some point in time, you sprout, right? And you fill out a little bit. So now it's a situation of like, he's still 6 feet tall. And even though he seemed kind of strong and big, now that you've sprouted and you've gone from 5 foot whatever to 6'3", 195, 200 pounds, all of a sudden, he doesn't look so big anymore, right? It's kind of what it's like. Super chats are coming in. Joe Esposito says, "Stop, Joe. We will never like the Patriots or their uniforms. Those unis were hot. I would never buy one. Jay Spencer King would, but I would never buy a Patriots uniform or a jersey." My guy Eric Johnson. Good to see you, Eric. I've known Eric since he was a wee little man, so Eric's a good dude. I was at the Sabres Avalanche game tonight, watching the Sabres lose again. They showed Bill's highlights between periods to cheer everyone up. Fun. Well, Eric, I'm glad you enjoyed the game. At least I hope you enjoyed the game, but I'm glad you enjoyed the highlights at the very least. But it was a good football game. Thank you for the super chat, Eric. You were the man. Appreciate you. When you look at this football game, kind of getting back into my notes, it was pretty clear early that the offensive line was getting worked. They were getting worked, especially Quesenberry. And I had a couple people tweet at me just, hey, what's going on? He's almost worse than Bobby Hart. And then Bobby Hart came in the game. This is what I'll say. Q was injured. So Q came into this game injured. And when you talk about giving it away early, Dude Awards, that dude, he deserves and is going to get a Dude Award just for being available, because I don't know how to. I'm trying to figure out how to put it into words. Like, normally when you see somebody walk, they walk right with their toes forward. Some people walk pigeon-toed, right? So their toes are in, and some people walk maybe a little bit out. He was basically dragging his left leg behind him. It was a little uncomfortable even to watch, but he was still out there. And thank goodness he was, to at least stand in the way or be some sort of something for somebody to run around versus just run through. But the offensive line as a whole was just, there was a point in the game, it was during, I think, the second quarter, where I looked at McKenna and I said, I feel like they're going to need to go to kind of a quick pace 3-step drop offense, because the offensive line is having a hard time with, was it Uche? And then obviously Judon. They were just giving him fits in this football game. 2 fumbles, man. There were 2 fumbles by the Patriots. I'm going somewhere with this. And they recovered their own fumbles. And that stuff matters. This is now, when we talk about being afraid of the Patriots and no longer being afraid of the Patriots are now that football team that makes mistakes. They're the football team that the Bills used to be. That even when the Bills would come out, I remember specifically being at a Bills-Patriots home game. It had to be 2016, I think is the year. We were up by 10 points at halftime, and in the second half, they just decided to unleash Gronkowski on us, and they outscored us like 20 points to nothing in the second half and beat us because the Bills began to make mistakes. And that's kind of who the Patriots are now. They're a team that just makes mistakes, fumbles. Mac Jones dirting the football on the 1-yard line. Where's his head at? I don't think Josh Allen makes that mistake. I think if Josh Allen drops back and he's standing on the 1, right, and he's got 2 guys coming at him, I think he dives forward to the 2. That's the play. Versus insert Mac Jones crying kid face here and throwing the like my little sister would do, like just kind of chucking the ball into the grass so that nobody hits him. That's who this team is now. I don't know if there's even anything to be afraid of. But regardless, those mistakes that are being offered to the Buffalo Bills, they've got to take advantage of. They've got to take advantage of them. If the Bills had taken advantage of those 2 fumbles and then even had gotten Mac Jones down inside of the end zone, that game would have been over in the second quarter. And they probably would have beaten the over as well because they would have had probably 28 points in the first half. It would have been crazy. But even when you're trying to break this game down versus the games that we've seen over the last couple of weeks, it's hard to nitpick. So that little spot that I gave you was a nitpick. What is a nitpick, Joe? A nitpick is where we played a very complete football game. We beat a division rival. We're now 1-2. We're at 9-3. Everything's looking up. If you're going to nitpick, what are you going to nitpick on? I'm going to nitpick on the fact that there were 2 fumbles and we didn't recover either of them, and there was an opportunity to get a safety in the game. That's a nitpick. I thought Ken Dorsey had a great game. While there were some moments in the second half that got a little possibly disjointed, there was the 1 third down play where they went heavy, right? They had a heavy set that was to the strong side, and then he threw the slant to Diggs on the left. Brilliant play call. Josh Allen was under center a lot in this game. The run game was cooking. So this is the drama of my life. So the drama of my life is the fact that McKenna, my oldest, my angel, not that Addison, my 13-year-old who just turned 13, isn't my angel. McKenna is my angel. Addison is my angel baby. See what I did there? So I've got my oldest, and then I've got my youngest. McKenna's my angel. Addison's my angel baby. All that to say this. McKenna has a boyfriend, and he was making the run game as cooking puns, and me and McKenna were making fun of him. So that's a shout out to you, Nick. If I don't know if you listen to my show or not, you probably don't, but if you do, the run game was cooking, y'all. James Cook looked good in this football game. I really liked what I saw from it. Like, it wasn't over the last 3 games, we've all heard the phrase about the game slowing down for players. In the last 3 games, you have witnessed the game slow down for James Cook. You've watched it happen. He's gone from like seeing holes and darting through them to taking advantage and like making guys miss to now stopping, backing up like a half step and starting in another direction because he's like, wrong hole, I want to go over here, and then gaining 5 yards. James Cook looked dangerous. He also was kind of taking on that Cole Beasley role. You've heard Jay Spence and myself talk a lot about how much this team misses Cole Beasley, the player. There's a lot of curl routes in this game where Cook was just going 2-3 yards out, Allen hit him with the football. Cook could turn around, and if he fell down, great. If he got a couple extra yards, great. There was a lot to be said for what happened in this football game that came from that running back group. It was something to see. Spoiler alert, it's going to be the story of this game for me when I get to that point. But it was literally shades of what we used to see the Bills do when it came to marching the football down the field. Oh, you're not going to give me anything intermediate or deep? I'll hit Cole Beasley. Well, now I'll hit James Cook. Over and over again. It was great. James Cook coming into the NFL, James Cook, I think the most touches he had as a college football player in a game was 14, and I believe it happened twice. In this game alone, we're seeing the progression of James Cook right before our eyes. James Cook touches in this game. He had 20 in this game. He had 14 rushes for 65 yards. He had 6 receptions for 41. If you're a fantasy guy, that's 16 points. All he was missing was the TD. Peyton plays with the super chat. Peyton, thank you for jumping in again. Appreciate you. In hindsight, Hines, hindsight, we should have run Cook more. Maybe. I like the two-headed monster. There was clear run situation moments. Peyton says he's proud of that one. And he's smirking. He's got the Grinch smirk going from ear to ear right now. What was I just going to say? There were clear run situations. Stop distracting me, y'all. There were clear run situations where historically over the last 3 years, we as fans sat on the couch and we said, they're going to run the ball here. And the defense that the Bills were playing were like, they're going to run the ball here. And it turned into no gain. There were several of those moments in this game where it was an obvious the Bills are going to run the ball, even if it was because Josh was under center, and they still got 4, 5, 6, 7 yards. Both of them, James Cook and Devin Singletary. Whatever is going on with that run game, I like it. I like it a whole bunch. A whole bunch. What did I not like? Hey, Joe, what did you not like? Funny you should ask. I do have something that I didn't necessarily like. Why can this football team not run a wide receiver screen? A wide receiver screen is a college football play that every college team executes, which means that every one of these players that are on this football team have executed wide receiver screens at the college level. Every NFL team can run a wide receiver screen, except for the Buffalo Bills. I don't get it. Like, what did you not like, Joe? I don't like the wide receiver screen. It literally comes down to mental mistakes and blocking errors. And as much as it wasn't a wide receiver screen, Nyheim Hines would have scored on that one play that he stretched to the left, except for the fact that Stefon Diggs and Gabe Davis are out there. They've got a guy inside on Davis, outside on Diggs, right? Nyheim Hines is going to come their way with the handoff. And this is what's happening on the wide receiver screens as well. Davis dives down, Diggs takes Davis guy, and then Diggs's guy is standing there like, come to daddy. And Nyheim Hines did and got tackled. Why can't this football team execute a wide receiver screen? That's probably the only thing from this game that I didn't like. If you want more things that I didn't like, check with Joe Marino in the morning, because he does a very good job of things I liked and things I didn't like. Did not like, rather. I think the most ridiculous stat from this football game that I heard, and it came from the broadcast, so if you were watching the broadcast, there was a point at the 4-minute mark, 4 minutes left in the second half, where the Patriots had just run their 14th play. 4-minute mark of the second half, the Patriots had just run their 14th play. Actually, I think that's different. I think that's backwards. I think the Bills had just run their 31st play, is the way that Al Michaels said it. The Bills just ran their 31st play in the first half, and the Patriots have run 14. Oh, I laugh at you, Bill Belichick. So RJ Melville, I just happened to glance down. RJ Melville with a chat says, ask FINA about why they can't run a screen this week. I bet someone is giving away a tell to it because they always know exactly when we're going to run it, even as rarely as it is. So oddly that you should give me this comment. I was in a group. This is not a brag. Obviously, I know them. They're my friends. As much as I text Spence all the time, I text Jerry Ostrowski and John Fina all the time. I texted the two of them, and I literally had this conversation of what is going on. They didn't have an answer. So, spoiler alert for Monday. Monday in the John Off Tackle with John Fina show. Are you listening? Psst, you. All of you watching this show. If you can hear me right now. Off Tackle with John Fina. We had Daryl Talley on last week, or this past week. This week, we've got Drew Bledsoe. Ruh-roh. So maybe we'll ask Drew Bledsoe why this football team can't run a wide receiver screen. So he is going to be on the Off Tackle with John Fina show this coming Monday, this Victory Monday. We're going to talk about Josh Allen and what he sees and what he likes and his thoughts on this football team. So I digress. I think what's interesting to me, and I'm almost done with my notes here, so just stick with me for a second. After the Buffalo Bills go up 3-0, the Patriots score to make it 7-3, and then the Bills go touchdown to extend their lead, right? Then they eventually kick a field goal to make it 3 possessions. The Bills at that point never looked back. And frankly, the Patriots didn't either. My next note is re-sign Tremaine Edmunds. Any conversation, any arguments, any waffling, any disdain, any negative feelings, any expectation that negative Bills Mafia member might have needs to just go away. Tremaine Edmunds literally made his own case for himself over the last 3 games. 4 games over the last 4 games. The Buffalo Bills are not beating, but they're firmly in a game against the Vikings. Excuse me. Tremaine goes out, Bills lose that game. The defense doesn't look great in a difficult game against the Browns. Tremaine doesn't play. The defense doesn't look great in a game against the Lions. Tremaine doesn't play. Tremaine comes back against the Patriots and is all over the freaking football field. You re-sign that cat. Keep Tremaine in Buffalo. I got a t-shirt idea for Tremaine. I'm not going to give it to you. I got to figure out how to put it together. But I got a t-shirt idea for Tremaine. I think the most notable thing from this football game, the most noteworthy, the thing that shocked me the most in this football game, I don't know if you were clued into it. I don't know if you paid attention to it. After halftime, that first 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes, Gillette was really quiet. Really. Josh Allen is at the line making checks and making calls, and he's just talking. He's not even yelling. He's just talking to his guys. It was quiet in that stadium. This is what I'm here for. As much as 2022, I'm going to back up. As much as we had 2020 coming out party, 2021 dominant football team just fell short. 2022 ups and downs, but still lauded as the best team in football. And they probably are when they're on. When the Buffalo Bills are on and they're not incredibly injured and they're not beating themselves, they're the best team in football. The best feeling I have is beating the Patriots and making those I'm going to say a bad word, making those Patriot fans be quiet. It's borderline poetic. You wanted a positive, like, post-game show for me because I was negative the last two. Here you go, Bills Mafia. You got it. I'm being positive. I'm all up in my feelings. Couple of injury concerns, and I haven't heard Jordan Phillips, obviously, on that weird kind of runaround thing that Mac Jones did. Jumped down and tried to dive at his legs and missed and stayed on the ground. Dawson Knox, we clearly don't know. I heard collarbone, and then somebody told me he was limping off the field, and then he came back on. Quesenberry, you kind of hope that he's going to be okay. McKenzie at one point did walk off the field injured. I don't know how he did, but yeah. So, story of the football game. So, I actually, before I give you the story of this football game, I'm going to jump over and I'm going to do my Western New York Beer Trail read. The brand new 2023, this book right here, Trail Pass from Western New York Beer Trail is now available. The 2023 pass is bigger and better than ever. And there's no better time to get ready for your next year than right here, right now. The new pass features 53 breweries, cideries, meaderies, and beer bars all over Western New York. While almost every stop still offers the 2 half-price beers with your pass, there's several other offers inside that are available to you, and from select locations such as discounts on flights, food, and merchandise. You can save over $400. You can save $400 by purchasing this bad boy right here, like a T-Bass field goal. You just can't miss. The 2023 Trail Pass and other beer trail items are available at our website, beertrail.com, www.wnYbeertrail.com. Am I the only one that when you see WNY, literally I just say Western New York? That's absolutely what just happened to me. WNYbeertrail.com. Just click on the shop tab, and then there is a code there. Hopefully it still works. But this is the perfect way for you to start your holiday shopping early and even get yourself a little something as well. We at Western New York Beer Trail are proud to support everything local, craft beer, small businesses, local charities. This show as well. Watch out for meetups, fundraising events along the way. Western New York Beer Trail, drink local, support local. We will see you on the trail. Ladies and gentlemen, please do me a favor. Go get your beer trail, your Western New York Beer Trail pass. You deserve it, right? Somebody, if you don't deserve it, somebody in your life does. Go get it. Story of the game. We saw something in this football game that we have not seen. I want to say that there was a time in 2020, a game. I believe it was the 49ers game. I'm trying to remember back to last year. We saw something in this football game that we've not seen in a very long time. The run game specifically, I gave it away a little bit ago. The run game was huge in this game, in this football game. The ground and pound, right? You're talking about a situation with an ailing offensive line, the Bills, in pass protection, versus a very aggressive and talented defensive line, which I think was on display in this game. And what do you do to slow that down? Good teams, good running teams run the football. That's how you slow down a pass rush. You run the ball. You run straight at them. It was amazingly encouraging to see the Buffalo Bills commit to the run, to see the Buffalo Bills execute the run, to see the Buffalo Bills be successful in the run. And I'm going to be honest with you, the success that James Cook had, in my opinion, brought success to Devin Singletary as well. There was an aspect that felt like that they were feeding off of each other because they're very different players and they're both talented in their own right. I loved the rotation that the Bills did. I think I saw a couple tweets. People were just like, where's Devin at? Why is he not playing? And I was like, what? It's not about that. And it's not. I hope gone are the days of the backup running back gets one series per half. And then we basically just, try to slam Devin into the offensive line for the rest of the game. I feel like the Bills found something in this game, and make no mistake, what you witnessed from this run game, from this development, from this execution, very much played a huge role. I'm trying to think of how I want to put this together. Played a huge role in the outcome of the football game. So, granted, it wasn't a huge scoring game, which is what we all want to see, and it wasn't wildly entertaining with Josh Allen throwing the football all over the field, but it was a very secure victory. It was a very dominant victory. And if the Bills can do this consistently, if they can bring this element to every football game, they're going to be borderline impossible to beat. And this coming from a guy that would tell you that I would prefer not to see the run game. I would rather see 3-yard and 2-yard passes. But there's something to be said for what the Bills did in this football game with Devin Singletary and James Cook. It was freaking fantastic. Freaking fantastic. Let's get over to the stats from the game. So the Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen was 22 of 33, exactly 60%. For 223 yards, 2 touchdowns. James Cook was 14 to 64. He averaged 4.6 yards per carry. What a game. Great game that kid had. Devin was 13 carries for 51 yards. Josh was 8 for 20 yards. And that's where I get into when I said that they did a very good job of bottling up Josh Allen. Rarely do you see Josh Allen average 2.5 yards per carry. Regardless, the Bills, they rushed for 130 yards in this football game. Stefon Diggs, 7 on 92, 7 receptions for 92 yards, a touchdown. Isaiah McKenzie, 5 for. What is it about Isaiah McKenzie and the Patriots? If we played the Patriots every single game, Isaiah McKenzie would be the best wide receiver in the NFL. James Cook was 6 for 41. Naheem Hines, 1 for 21. Gabe Davis, 2 for 15. He had a nice touchdown. He clapped it. And every time I see him clap a football, I wonder why he's on the hands team. It is what it is. Khalil Shakir, 1 for 10. The Bills had a difficult time getting to Mac Jones. I believe the sack by A.J. Epinesa was the only one, right? Wasn't that the only sack in the game for the Bills? Patriots, Mac Jones, 22 of 36 for 195 for a touchdown, or with 1 touchdown. I like Ramondre Stevenson. I liked him last year. 10 carries for 54 yards. The Bills, they kept him in 5.4. Could have been worse. Where he really hurt them was like the screen passes they were throwing him. Mac Jones, 3 for 7. He ran for about 1,000 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Marcus Jones, 2 for 51. Obviously, he had the long screen play for the touchdown. Tyquan Thornton, 2 for 31. It's like, who are these guys? Ramondre Stevenson, 6 for 24. Jacoby Myers, 3 for 22. Nelson Aguilar. I don't even remember Nelson Aguilar's name being called during the football game. I expected a lot more from Devontae Parker. They didn't get it. It is what it is. When you look at the overall team stats for this game, total yards, the Bills had 355. The Patriots, 242. Passing yards, 223 for the Bills, 182 for the Patriots, 132 rushing yards, 60 for the Patriots. They just housed them. It was just a complete football game from the Buffalo Bills. 4.9 yards per play for the Bills, 4.7 for the Patriots. 22 first downs for the Bills, 14 for the Patriots, 9 of 15 on third down rather. 3 of 12 for the Patriots. That's awful. 3 of 12, 3 first downs on 3 conversions on third downs for the Patriots. Fourth downs, only the Patriots went for it. They were 1 for 1. Total plays 72 for the Bills, 51 for the Patriots. Sacks allowed, 2 versus 1. Punts, 3 versus 6. So we did punt 3 times in this game. Penalties, yada, yada. Fumbles lost. The Bills lost 1 fumble. It was the Josh Allen fumble, which was absolutely 1,000% not his fault. And then the big one is time of possession. The Bills had 38 freaking minutes of time of possession to the Patriots 21:52. Crazy stat. Peyton plays with another super chat. Dude, you're the man. Appreciate you. You are the man. The Pats' leading receiver was one of their cornerbacks. Let's all get a hearty chuckle on that. I actually didn't know that. That is good information. That's good to know. Dude Awards. So for those of you that are not familiar with the Dude Awards, effectively this show does the Dude Awards. And what we do is we give arrow up, arrow down, thumbs up, thumbs down, good game, bad game, 5 stars, no stars, are all wrapped up in the Dude Award. So if somebody has a good game, it's dude. You did a great job. Dude, you had a great game. If they did not have a good game, it's dude, bro. We got to talk. And it's funny because people are now tweeting at me, dude, bro. Negative Dude Award, dude, bro. It's funny. You guys kill me with this stuff. But I have no negative dude awards. None. I thought for a moment to give DeMar Hamlin a negative dude award for the missed the missed decision on the one long play that the Patriots had on their only touchdown. And then obviously he had the big hit, but the big hit broke up a touchdown. I felt it was clean. It was good old-fashioned football. The new rules are the new rules, but I did not. So we have no negative dude awards in this game. You could probably give one to an offensive lineman here or there, but we're not going to go down that road. My positive dude awards. Tremaine Edmonds gets my first one. The dude was all over the field. He was sideline to sideline. He was in the gaps. He was a sure tackler in this football game. Tremaine played very, very well. The entire defensive line without Von Miller, to me, played very well in this game, and they should have. They played a very suspect offensive line that is, as we talked about, patchwork in the Patriots, and they came to play in this game. The last dude award for me, let's talk about Josh Allen getting that swag back. Josh Allen with my final dude award, because that dude found himself once again. As I said, happy days are here again. So this is what's up. So I am now dropping in podcast form, if you're listening to this in podcast, the tweets are now being dropped in the Mafia Monday segment on the Overreaction Sports Network, which is my podcast feed. So if you're looking for the tweets, you're going to have to wait until Monday to get them in podcast. However, I'm going to read them live right now on YouTube. So with that being said, I sent a tweet out at the end of this football game on the Overreaction Buffalo Postgame Show at Overreaction Buff. And if you follow that handle, I will follow you back. The Buffalo Bills just beat the Patriots. How's this win got you feeling, Bills Mafia? Reply and let me know. Reading your tweets live on the Overreaction Postgame Show at midnight. 12:15. But good intentions. I intended to go at midnight. First tweet comes from Chef at the Critical Chef. Gillette Stadium was mighty quiet this evening, so he noticed it as well. Dude, you were the man. Chef noticed it too. I was like, I wanted to tweet it. There was a point where I was like, I'm going to tweet this out. And then I was like, maybe I won't. Because all I needed to be was the jinx that brought the Patriots back. C-Dub, hashtag Bills Mafia at Chris Wells 73. Hashtag that's just friggin' awesome. And it was. Tom Workoff at Weather and Golf. I think this is Tom's first tweet at me, which is great. I'd pay money to watch Mac Jones run around. Super entertaining. Good win, a few mistakes, but felt more like normal. Complete control. Reminder to the Mafia, if and when this team can make it, or can get healthy rather, it's a monster. Can't lose sight of that. Survived the adversity. Full speed ahead. That is a great tweet, Tom. Appreciate you being a part of the show. Sports Fan 723 at Bills Ride or Die. Run the ball and take the pressure off Josh. Good team win. And Cook and Hines were also involved. Hashtag finally. Hashtag go Bills. Bill S at CRZY Bill. This game was like a shift at manual. This game was like a shift at a manual labor job. A couple hiccups, but the work was put in and the job got done. Josh looked like Josh again. The running duo was fun to watch. Loved Josh throwing to Cook. The D looked like last year. Pressure, but a few sacks. Go Bills. Appreciate the tweet there, bro. Bills Media 716 at Bills Media 716. He's got Vaughn and Josh walking together. Vaughn. Love it. Richard Richard R. Rush, who is in the comment section right now. Richard, go to bed. Was a great team win, and it wasn't a nail biter. Now on a Sunday where we can watch football without pressure. Hashtag Go Bills. People, this is it. You need to, I don't know what you guys do on Sunday after a Bills win on Thursday or a Bills win on Saturday. Sunday is elite when there is no pressure. When you've got a dub in the bag and you can watch the entire slate of football games from 1 o'clock until midnight, and it's like, we already got the dub. We living in dub land. Freaking elite, y'all. Richard Rush with the freaking tweet of the day. Bills Media 716 comes back with another tweet. Big dubs, 9-3 feels great. Now I can turn into a huge Bengals-Niners fan for this Sunday. Time to run the rest of these division games. Team started off a little shaky, but got on track quick and put together a really quality win. Diggs is that guy. Go Bills. One thing I did not talk about was this tweet that went out. I'm going to find it. The Buffalo Bills made the Bills. So this came from the Bills PR handle. The Bills' last touchdown drive. So this was the big one, the 14 play drive, marked the team's 5th 90-plus yard touchdown drive for the season, marking the most since the team had 5 90-plus yard touchdown drives in 1991. Big deal. Super, super big deal. A couple more for you. Karen, let's go Buffalo at Goose Sabres Bills. Big dubs, she says, even with nonstop injuries, too many penalties, and missed tackles, the Bills still find a way to win. Hashtag wildest dreams land. I don't think they found a way to win. They straight up dominated that Patriots team. Peyton, my guy Peyton, who's in the chat right now, at Peyton. A Bills win where I didn't feel like I was going to have a heart attack. Go figure. An uneventful Patriots ass kicking, then Josh wearing a Fitzy jersey while being interviewed by Fitz on the Patriots' own field after the victory. I'm pretty sure I've died and gone to wildest dreams land. I think the coolest thing about that moment, about Josh getting up on the platform in his Fitzy jersey, was Tony Gonzalez going, "That's a big dude. Josh Allen's really big. He's a big guy." Like, he said it like 4 times how big Josh is. So, it's like, yeah, Tony, we know he's a big guy. Steve at Steve Westerhout. He's got the Tony the Tiger gift going. Did I do that right? So old school right there. Matthew McDonald. I think I got 3 more. Matthew McDonald, 4 more. At Matty McD41. A good ending to a grueling 12-day, 3-game road trip. That's what it was. It was 3 games over 12 days. 3-0. And that's the best part. 3-0. They came out of this crazy, ridiculous stretch. Illnesses, snowmageddon, injuries. 3 games in 12 days. 3-0. Wildest dreams land. Xavier Stutz at XCS713. This game is the strangest vibe of any game all season. We completely dominated, and I'd love to see the run take over for 4 quarters. I think the vibe was off because of the crowd being dead as a doornail. Sorry. And the most boring commentating I've ever heard. Al Michaels is great. So I lived in Columbus for 13 years. Kirk Herbstreit, not a fan. I don't get the love fest. I don't know why he was always on like the main broadcast for the Buckeyes. He's boring. He's a color commentator who's not colorful. Does that make sense? They need to bring a third dude into that room. Al Michaels is legend. Kirk Herbstreit is meh. Autumn at AutumnRE_sports. Feels good, man. Feels good. Love the different use of the players. Loved Cook getting so many runs and using the Cook-Hines backfield and Singletary. But she's talking about when they were in there together. That was great. Loved that Shakir got a target and a catch, rather. Defense was strong and physical, hoping all our injured players are okay. I love you, Josh. I love you, Josh Allen. I love you, Josh Allen. Last one for you guys. I'm going to get you up on out of here. Michael Mix at Adirondack Mike 7. All he says is, let's go, Buffalo. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what I'm going to tell you. There's a bunch of you watching right now live. If you want more content from me, Joe Miller, go to your favorite podcast network. It's audio only right now. Type in Overreaction Sports. You're going to get a series of podcasts from me on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Monday is Mafia Monday. Wednesday is Wake Up Wednesday. Friday is Rapid Fire Friday. All 3 days have different content, different concepts to them. But if you're looking for more content from me, Overreaction Sports, Mafia Monday, Wake Up Wednesday, Rapid Fire Friday. But with that, I'm going to get out of here. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been tuned into the Overreaction Buffalo Postgame Show, brought to you by the Market Dominator team on the Buffalo Rumblings Vidcast Network. My name is Joe Miller. You can find me on Twitter, as always, at Joe Miller Wired. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Victory Friday, victory Saturday, victory Sunday, victory Monday, victory Tuesday, all the way to next week, where the Buffalo Bills, the 9-3 Buffalo Bills, host probably the Mike White New York Jets. Until then, what do we got coming up? Monday, no show, no overreaction show on Sunday. Off tackle with John Fina Monday. Drew Bledsoe's our guest. And then Hump Day Hotline on Wednesday. Appreciate you guys. Love you. Go Bills.